Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right. I am John Palacio.
And I'm Marlene Cuellar, and thank you for joining us this morning.
It's a beautiful Wednesday morning out, Marlene.
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
goodness.
It's dry.
Yes,
it's
it
dry.
is.
I think
It
the
is.
rain is over, in case you were wondering.
God, like I swear, Monday, Tuesday, you wonder what would be rain or you want hot, you know? But we're so glad I think we could see some definition for today. That much I could tell you. That's
Yeah.
what we're seeing at this point. We're not the pros, though. We'll let
Yeah.
you know what they think a little later on. this
Our
morning.
good friends at the Met Service had told us that about Wednesday would, definitely start to shape up to be better days, and that's what it is so far. Of course, it's hump day.
Yes, it is.
Halfway there.
Halfway there, indeed, and exactly, we do trust that your week so far has been a great one. Speaking of a great week, Mar, as per usual, first order of duty is that we break down for you what
buzzing?
occurred and what's buzzing in the
Yeah,
newscast
what's
from last
buzzing?
night. Look, I'll tell you what, the Honorable Shine Barrow is actually buzzing at this particular point. He is the leader of the opposition. He is the leader of the United Democratic Party. What's not to buzz about that? That's just a piece of the pie, though. But I'd like to break down one of the stories that we ran last night. And I think it could be a touchy one because there were actually some comments in the news, following the news, there is always comments at the bottom of people saying, why can't people be convicted in Belize? But this case without the Belizean authorities would have never been a success to that family, to the grieving family. And that's actually the case of, actually it's a civil suit in the U.S. which finds American woman responsible for the death of Timothy McNamara. That occurred here in Belize on Christmas Day in 2014 in the village of Boston in the Belize district. Now that's a strange one. It was first ruled to be a suicide while here in Belize. But our authorities went out there on the scene, scenes of crime, went out on the scenes, took some pictures, and it said that from those same pictures that you could see that the story was not matching up to what the defendant was actually trying to put forth. That it was a suicide. It was a suicide on the deceased behalf, and she was saying, "Hey, I found him. I lied down next to him because I felt that grief at that particular point." But was that the case?
Listen, I'm telling you, I watched that story last night, and it was like watching a true crime story. And you know, I'm a big fan of true crime documentaries and whatnot. So yeah, it was. It's interesting, and I think even hearing the clips from the court itself, where she kind of justifies what was taking place, and it does show, though, and a civil suit is very different from a criminal suit. I do want to say that, and it's not uncommon that sometimes you fail in you're not successful in a criminal case, but you can be successful in a civil case. So that's not uncommon. I want to make that clear. But it was really interesting to kind of hear the details. A lot of times, unfortunately, and mostly because cases get so dragged out in Belize, we report on a story, we have some of the information, but we don't get the deep details as we see in this case.
Indeed, indeed. Much to point out is that Belizean authorities, what happened was, because it was deemed at that particular time in 2014 a suicide, in which it seemed at that time, her name is here, I'm trying to get her name, that lady actually fled the country, and she was actually wanted back in our country, so much so that Belize filed for her extradition. We were unsuccessful, but at the same time the case came up in the courts there in the U.S., which of course found her guilty. The reason for the backlash would be that Belizean authorities had wanted to prosecute her following the death, but were unable to get her extradited after she fled back to the U.S. 2 days after the incident. I must say a great job on behalf of Paul Lopez there, who brought this one back to us. Her name is, then I also want to point out as well, Mar, in that how she painted Belize, how she painted the country, saying that she was afraid of the country. Yeah. The country is corrupted, it's gang-ridden, and the lawyer, the lawyer for the deceased or for the deceased family came out and said, you know what, that is not true. That's not the case. This country is a developing country, and the people are very nice. Found out, especially by her family, and now the deceased will actually be properly laid to rest on his farm in the U.S. And so that was definitely one to bring back, because without the authorities of Belizean or Belizean authorities, this case would have never turned out the way that it did, finding the now defendant or the guilty party guilty. Yeah. So that's just one of the stories coming out of the news from last night.
Real plot twist.
You know, and like you mentioned, you know, when it comes to these crime stories, this is definitely one that would fit exactly what those stories are. But that's one of the cases, one of the situations in our country, Mar. The other one, I must say that I'm with pride, you know, with this one. This is actually one that is called by the BTB, and I think the Caribbean Tourism Board.
Yes.
Which highlights the Garifuna culture and what is there to showcase about the Garifuna culture. Many a times tourists come to our country and they flock to the southern villages or where our cultures are actually housed. But are they really inclined to what's there? And what do they really want to see? Is it only dance? And then this next story is one called up by, written up by Isani Cayetano, which I really and truly find myself with pride for. Myself, I am a Garifuna Belizean. And so therefore, knowing that there'll be a project now that will eventually have these tourists who come to our country flocking for or thirsty for culture, going to find entrepreneurship, going to find things to eat, things to actually see rather than just dance. Yeah. This is a great one.
You know, I think back on all the years pre-pandemic, especially, that we've had multiple conversations about just how do you develop tourism products outside of the main popular destinations. Yeah. And we have seen the popular destinations grow beyond just San Pedro and Kikocker and Cayo. Hopkins is now a favorite place. Placencia has always been one of the favorites. But when we who live here know of many different little pockets of activities, things with cultural roots, like the drum making in Dangriga.
And there are women making these drums.
Daughter of master drum maker.
Yes.
You know, I think there he is. So that's them there. And, you know, we think of things like Pen Caetano's Gallery in Dangriga. You know, we know the places we could stop to get a real authentic hudut.
Yes.
And so I think being able to formalize it for people who travel to this country and they won't necessarily find these things on a map to say things to do in Belize really does help in being able to expand the different areas that can be positively affected by the tourism dollar.
Indeed. But I continue with the pride, and it is said that what's going to happen with this project is that they'll be giving people the opportunity to become entrepreneurs, try to showcase their product, showcase Garifuna food. And I'll tell you what, while on the clip, you could see them stirring that hudut with a lot of pepper in it. So, ooh, that they really get to be.
Mouth-watering, right?
Of course, because it is a part of who we are as Belizeans. Look, I'll tell you what.
And as organic as it gets, you know, they'll get the fish from Dangriga. They can make their own coconut milk.
Yes.
The
cassava bread.
We watched many different tours with, we watched especially most recently the Royal Tour with Chocolate. Imagine the making of hudut as a traveler's experience. Or, people sign up for salsa classes and all kinds of things. Why not learn a jankuna dance?
Jankuna dance.
You don't need any kind of hip movement for that one, just probably good knees, and that makes it more accessible to many more people.
Indeed. You're right.
So these are all possibilities. Yeah, I think, the development of the tourism product that we know exists in Belize.
Yes.
Naturally, people want to come for beaches and diving and all the marine life, but we have so much more, and we've known it.
Marlene, when people come here for the beaches and, fine dining, yes, but that's the same old, same old. why not step out of the box? We've read so many eye-openers telling people step out of the box sometimes. And this not only for tourists, but for us here, for us locals. How much do we know for our country? How much do we know that that particular mechanism there is actually something from the Garifuna culture, the Mestizo culture, the Mayan culture? This is a great opportunity for folks to venture out to see what they are able to do. You know, I really and truly like this forward here, Marlene. It brings forth for me great pride as a Garifuna Belizean.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
And then, of course, like I mentioned, the Honorable Shine Barrow is actually in the forefront at this particular point.
Yeah.
You know, there was so much mentioned in yesterday's segment of Open Your Eyes, Open Your Eyes, and he was out there, you know, saying that, you know what, it is the people to decide in various constituencies or in constituencies who, one, they want for leader, who, two, should judge that a leader is actually doing what they've got to do in their constituency, or we want them moved out because they're not doing their job. You sat down with him yesterday.
Yeah. Actually, you know, it's been an interesting 2 days following the UDP Leadership Convention, having both Honorable Tracy Panton and Honorable Shine Barrow coming in to kind of just unpack all the events that led to the Leadership Convention and also the results of it as well. I think the main topic was definitely looking at the discrepancies that Honorable Panton kind of explained, and he did address it yesterday in the show, saying that, you know, these are my words, not his, that basically there was a miscount in the numbers that they both had, but ultimately it was just an error. That's what he was saying. She said there were more ballots in a box than voters. So, but what we know moving forward is that she's not going to pursue a recount. She's accepting the results. She's already conceded, and that she is willing to work along with Honorable Barrow. The interviews, though, are so of course, they're starkly different. One is now taking on the leadership role, and he has a huge responsibility. We ran out of time to really dive into the details of how he plans to unite the United Democratic Party. And I think that's perhaps, it should be their number one priority, because there are clear issues. If we look at what the past year and a half, 2 years has been like for them, it is not easy to stay connected to a party when you see it just kind of falling apart in that way. And so the responsibility to bring it back together to be that glue is a big one. You know, his responses, I think, you know, are expected. We've interviewed many politicians before. So, and I think that some of the issues that, for example, the question about his aunt, Sister B, is one that has been lingering for a long time. We faced the same situation when then Representative Gaspar Vega was repeatedly absent.
Absent from the House of Representatives, and that went like a firestorm as well. And so therefore, it brings back to ask the question: is it really the people in the constituency to actually say, hey, we're not seeing our leader, and we would like for that leader to be removed? Or is it really, is it a part of not necessarily the Constitution, but the rules in politics that you're supposed to be, or in the House, that you're supposed to be removed if you've missed 1 or 2 or 3 of the meetings?
It's not the numbers, and I should have probably gone back into my files to find this one, but I remember the conversation with Mr. Vega that it had come up that it's a number of consecutive meetings but within a time frame. So it's how frequent the House meetings are.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we don't have House meetings as frequently. So I'd have to go back and check, because I might say a number and I'll probably be wrong. But there are guidelines.
There are guidelines.
And the question, though, is, and I think I remember the conversation before the budget with Professor Dr. Albert Williams.
Out of the Belizean living in the U.S.
Yes, the Belizean living in the United States. And we were talking about economics, and we were talking about breaking down the budget. And I recall, that being one of the points, that the people pay the opposition to be the opposition. And so it's a fair question. Anytime we're talking about public funds, that's what we're looking at. So. Yeah, that's one of the stories that's buzzing. I think it's kind of a wait and see. They have limited time. Sometimes we look at just general election to general election, but in a political party, you're looking at village council elections. That's kind of testing to see how your recovery is going, especially if you've been defeated.
Yeah, that's
your municipal tester. Elections, which is another major test, and then you move on to general elections. Indeed. So you have these litmus tests in between.
Indeed.
And village council elections are just around the corner.
That's just around the corner, indeed. So this is definitely one of the tests for the opposition party that is recognized as well by the Constitution of Belize, of course, which is our supreme law. But I think, though, Mar, and I'm moving on to now to the Honorable Tracy Panton with respect to conceding her loss, and then saying that, you know what, I'm not going to contest, even though it's only by three votes, which is, of course, razor thin. I'm thinking that it might be showing, there might have been a conversation, and it might be one that is showing, you know what, we need to unify as a party again, rather than to eventually just step on out there and start a bickering or fighting, which would then show that the party is really not unified. So it is a way forward. And this is actually some of the bickering that we're actually seeing on social media, where some folks are saying, you know what, they seem to be coming together to unify the party so they could move forward. Because like you rightly mentioned, some elections are actually coming up. And this is a tester.
And she has been very clear. She made it very clear on the show. She is absolutely open when there is an ex-leadership convention to be able to put herself forward again. So it's a concession now, but she's made it explicitly clear that when there is the opportunity once again, that most likely her name will be on the ballot.
Oh, if she, she seems to be showing her readiness to channel that leadership into the forefront. But those are the stories that we decided to break down for you. Catch us live right here on 5 at 6 o'clock this evening to see what will be the stories for this evening. All right, it's time to move on. We will be motivating you now, moving into the eye-opener taken from dailyom.com.
And it goes like this. When we are in a state of good vibration, we attract more of that to us. Feelings vibrate, just as all things in the universe do, at a particular frequency. Negative feelings like anger, guilt, and greed vibrate at low frequencies, while positive feelings like joy, appreciation, and passion vibrate at high frequencies. This is why people and places that inspire and cultivate positive feelings have what we call good vibrations. Lower frequency vibrations are not bad in a moral sense, but they're bad in the sense that they simply don't feel good. Still, they have a purpose, which is to alert us to the fact that we're blocking out the higher frequency vibrations that we need to function well. When we are receiving and sending out good vibrations, we are in the flow. When we're not, we can begin to raise our vibration by seeking out people, places, and situations that vibrate at a higher frequency. Whether we need to go on a retreat or just call a friend who makes us laugh, seeking out those good vibrations and basking in them is a sacred and loving practice that returns us time and again to the joyful flow of the universe.
Hey, yo, you know what, Mark? This eye-opener, I'm going to put to my heart because this is truly what I believe. And there's a song from Bob Marley that says, positive vibration, yeah, positive. Because it is true. It is true. Yeah. And, you know, as people, we're able to detect that. Yes, we are. We're able to detect when people are actually being positive to us. Look, one of the things that we must understand, and the eye-opener alluded to it, Marlene, that you are able, it comes at a higher vibration, the positive ones. The negative ones at a low vibration, but it didn't disregard the negative one. It says it is also not a bad thing. Yeah. It is a good thing. So you are able to detect that, especially when it comes around again. Channeling yourself into where you're supposed to go to find your positive vibration. Now, Mark, this is a conversation starter for the morning, and people must know that whether we need to go on a retreat or call a friend, I prefer call a friend, a retreat expensive, just to say, you know, who makes us laugh, seek out good vibrations, and basking in them is a secret loving practice that returns us time and again to the joyful flow of the universe. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Love it.
Absolutely.
I want to take some words.
I think for me, you know, I do love exactly what you said. One, that there is a sense of energy that we feel from people, and it is just it's kind of that, you know, in Belize we say a spirit, how your spirit connect.
I feel a spirit.
Usually we say, you know, the spirit,
a good spirit. Yeah.
But it also works in a positive sense, and we know those people that we gravitate to that just can like turn around, at least momentarily, a feeling that you may have. And so, you know, there's just this energy that we give off, and I think the more attuned you are to it, the more attuned you are to the energy that you give off, then the more you're able to do something about it. And I do respect. I think the most dangerous thing you can do is kind of build up this facade that it's all happy and roses all day long. We have highs and we have lows, but it's knowing what to do when there's that low.
Indeed. And then the vibration, the positive vibration, especially in the lows, would eventually be transcended, but you'll know where to go to find your positive vibration once again.
That's
Love
right.
the eye opener. Love it so very much.
All right.
But it is that time of the morning. We move on. It's that time to find out what the weather is going to be like for this morning.
All right.
All right.
So we're going to hear from Angelia Guy.
Good morning. A moderate and drier southeasterly airflow will prevail over the area. The 24-hour forecast is for skies to be mostly sunny today with the chance of only light isolated showers developing, then clear to partly cloudy tonight with little or no rainfall. High temperatures today will reach near 88 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 93 inland and 83 in the hills. Low temperatures tonight will range from a warm 80 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 74 inland and 66 in the hills. Winds over the open sea will blow from the southeast at 10 to 20 knots with occasional higher gusts. Sea conditions will be moderate to rough, and operators of small crafts are advised to exercise caution for occasional gusty winds and locally rough seas. High tide will occur at 8 minutes after 9 this morning, followed by low tide at 3 minutes after 3 this afternoon. The moon will set at 4 minutes to 5 this evening, followed by sunset at 5 minutes after 6. And then tomorrow the moon will rise at 5:32 in the morning, followed by sunrise at 5:48. The outlook for Thursday and Thursday night is for fair, warm, and dry weather to prevail. Little or no rainfall is expected. In this week's sargassum update, there continues to be a high chance of more sargassum affecting beaches, especially over northern parts of the country. In the fire risk forecast, the risk for brush or forest fires will be medium to high during the next 24 to 36 hours. And that ends this morning's weather report and forecast from the National Meteorological Service.
All right, Shania Guy, thank you so very much for providing us with the update. But I've got to say, though, Marlene, for the outlook Angelia, Thursday and Thursday night, it is for fair, warm, and dry weather conditions to prevail. Little or no rainfall is expected. I love it. Thank you. Mirror of good news.
All right. And now it's time for us to get moving into our show for today.
That is right. So you might be wondering, how come am I paying these prices at the stores when I go there? Now, those are some of the questions we'll be asking in the first segment. How much of an increase should you be paying? Minister Abimai will be in with us this morning to break down the price gouging and talk about the new cattle exports as we see that on a rise. That's the first segment.
All right, the second part of the show. Here's something you're not used to paying for, but you will.
What?
The implementation of parking meters. We had Mayor Wagner on. He talked to us about the rollout of this pilot project. And so there are specific locations in Belize City where you are going to have to pay to park. So we're going to get the details about that in the second part of the show.
All right. In the third segment, it's actually about a fast track. Now, you might be wondering if it's going to the track and field. No, it is not. This one is all about talking about business, a business acceleration program for women entrepreneurs seeking to access capital and new markets. We're looking forward to that conversation as well.
All right, 3 great conversations coming up. We're going to go ahead and take that break. When we come back, we'll be talking about the situation of price gouging in the country and what are the plans to address it. Please stay tuned.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Hello, welcome to Samsung's awesome experience right here in Belize. Come check it out. Not sure which Samsung Galaxy A series is right for you? Touch, play, and learn about your device before you buy. Once you've purchased your device, you can now benefit from the full Samsung service experience. Your phone is covered by a 1-year local warranty. This includes manufacturer defects and software and hardware issues caused by the manufacturer. Enjoy your phone with peace of mind knowing that your Galaxy is protected. And when your warranty expires, you can still bring it to our certified Samsung Repair Center. Our technicians will diagnose and repair your device with Samsung original parts and machinery. Enjoy the Samsung experience when you shop at any of our authorized partners countrywide, including Cellular World, Digi, Odette's Home Center, Debari, Tropigas, and Quartz. Join the Samsung experience in Belize today.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
And we'll be back in a few, so stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Himself, Minister Honorable Jose Abelardo, who's the Minister of Agriculture, Food Security, and Enterprise. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I am feeling wonderful. It's always nice to be here in your company, speaking and dialing, explaining what we are doing in the ministry, and of course some of the good things and some of the challenges that we are facing.
Yeah, definitely. You're championing one of the most important sector any country could have. We're talking about food being grown in a particular country. Very important. But at the same time, while we've got that, we do see prices rising. We're not sure if it's because of imports. We're not sure if it's because of price gouging. People just want to raise their prices because they feel it's that particular time to do so. What are your thoughts on that, when it comes to prices in the markets right now? And let's start there. Your thoughts on that, and how do we move forward from there?
The simple response to that is that there are 3 reasons why, actually 4. Now, 4 reasons why the prices have been increasing. The first one is that the cost of goods, the cost of the commodity has increased. Okay. The second is that the cost of transportation has also increased. Of course, gouging is also present. And the third is with the new order for war in Ukraine and Russia. Prices now are even getting higher. But my department, the department that I'm responsible for, which is supplies control, has done an exercise, especially in the city, and clearly there is gouging, and that has to be addressed.
So let's try to separate the issue for a moment, because we get our regular updates from the Statistical Institute of Belize. We know that inflation is up. It's up not just in Belize, in other parts of the world as well. So the cost of things in general are astronomically high for your average consumer. How do you differentiate between what is inflation and what is price gouging?
Yeah. Okay, there are 2 sets of items. One that is price control item, and there is one that's price regulated item. Price control, for example, sugar. The government sets the price. 75 cents is what you can sell sugar at per pound, and that's it. That's a price regulated good. And price control good. The price regulated good is based on percentage markup. The law says that there is a certain percentage you mark up on wholesale and a certain percentage on retail. Now, supplies control officers walk into a store and they look at the price of sugar, and it's at 90 cents a pound. Right, and there and then you know that he has violated the supplies control regulations. Right? And therefore that person is taken to court, a long drawn out process, preparing all the documentation with the police department, then taking it to the court. It's a long drawn out process, which is not working for us. Now, he finds a certain commodity and he sees a price on it. It's not a price control good, it's a price regulated good. To define or to determine whether this person is above the percentage allowed, he has to go and ask the owner for a receipt. Let me see your invoice. Who you bought this from? He may have bought it from a wholesaler, an Orange Rock or a Zabri, whatever. And then he has to do his homework, his due diligence, to find where the person bought and at what percentage is markup.
What was the cost of bringing
that
it in?
That is an even more tedious job to do. It's challenging. And then we then proceed to the legal aspect. At this moment, though, looking at the inflation, it is unfair that store owners and wholesalers implement a gouging mechanism. It is unfair to the people of this country, and to anybody across the world. So we have proposed to Cabinet in a Cabinet paper that we must make amendments to the Supplies Control Act to implement and to ensure that gouging does not take place. The first thing we are going to do is to institute a ticketing system, similarly to what we did with COVID. Right?
Okay.
So instead of, so I can walk in, and you know there are many, you can break the law easily. You walk into a store and there's not a listed item. If you walk into a shop and you see that the price of sugar is this, price of this is, that is a price control good, and it must be written on a little blackboard or on the wall of a store.
It must be on
If you
display.
don't have that, you are already breaking the regulation.
What?
Yep. Secondly, you walk into a store and the good does not have a price. That's another regulation you're breaking.
That's all over.
Yep.
Yes.
And then thirdly, if I ask you for your invoice and you don't have, again, that's another regulation you're breaking. So for this to work smoothly and efficiently, we have to change the law. So walk into a store, you don't have your list, that's $250.
So instead of going through the court proceeding, you're going to go directly to implementing a fine, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? And then in one store, you can find up to 6 or 7 different regulations that are broken.
No prices on the item, no list of price for the item, invoice available if requested. What else?
Yeah. The next one is, let me see if I can remember. The first one was and if I look at the price control goods and it's above, that's another one.
That's another one.
So in one store, you can give up to 5 tickets.
Yeah.
But that's not only, I won't get a ticket and that's it. I close your store down, you go pay those tickets, you return your receipts, and then you may open. But that's not where it stops either, right? People have to know that you were caught breaking the regulations, right? You are gouging, you are breaking regulations, you don't have the prices on the goods. So what I will do is that I will make that information public.
Post your name.
So that people know.
Yes.
Look, it only takes 5 or 6 stores to do this, and then they will start fixing.
Well, the question, of course, the number one question is, how do we enforce this? There are regulations already in place to monitor that this is not happening within the stores, but we don't see.
Yeah, the problem because of the existing system, that you have to go through a court system. You have to prepare the documents to go to court. And some of these cases last up to 2 years before the end.
Okay.
So that's not working for us.
Yeah.
So, Marlene, if we implement the ticket system, it will be easier for the officers. And we have a reporting system. We have a hotline.
Yeah.
That if you walk into a store and you find that a good is not labeled, is not priced, you call that number, we go there quickly, and we will deal with it quickly.
Yeah.
Right? That is the best thing to do.
So this is the recommendation that's been put forward to change the legislation.
We have to work along with the local governments, because we're also repeated offenders. We plan to cancel their licenses, but that is another law. That is now local government. So we have to work with local government so that we can harmonize the law. And that we
let me play the role of a store here, because there are different. Okay, you did mention that something has been submitted to cabinet, so we could eventually try to get these streamlined. As a matter of fact, it's at Attorney
General's office right now for
review.
Okay, but it is also right now law that you must have these commodities or the price of these commodities, so it's able, so you are able to see it on a piece of board or something there, but. Are we talking local commodities? Are we talking about imports? Because there are a lot of things in my store. So how am I going to put all these things out there?
Good question.
Yes.
There are a list of items and a price, called a price control. Okay. In it, there are some food items, and there's also other items, other schedules that may be pharmaceuticals and things like that. I can't list them all out today. Right? But there are different schedules. Now, on the price regulated, there's also another set of goods. There are goods that are not regulated at all.
Okay.
Right? So the store owner does as he pleases because they're not regulated by any law. Let's say, for example, I think cornflakes. Cornflakes is not regulated.
So they can mark up whatever price they want.
Right? So again, we are doing another exercise, right? Based on consultation with the people. For example, ramen. In my view, and I will apologize for this, I say, because I run the risk of being criticized again. Ramen, I've never eaten ramen in my life. Never. The first time I saw ramen was at university in Alabama when the girls were heating up their food, and that's the first time I saw ramen in my life. And I've never eaten one.
Okay.
Good. But some have the view, we should even import ramen because it's unhealthy. But then the concern from others is, hey, Belize City people eat a lot of ramen. People are very poor, and that's what they consume. So you have to be very sensitive of the way you think and the way you say it. Maybe in the north it's different from the Belize City. It is. It's not maybe. It is. So some of them say, listen, ramen is a very important commodity for Belize City. So we need to maybe include that as a part, a regulation that you cannot gauge or put a percentage on that. I'm not sure it's regulated.
Because it's a high demand commodity.
Exactly.
It's a high demand.
But like milk, cheese, butter. As a matter of fact, I think the Caribbean has now implemented, has included toiletries in their regulations. For example, the sanitary pads, the Pampers for the kids, the wipes now, right? And so we have to be thinking about that now.
And those are essential.
No, there's another important thing. Many of the goods, many essential goods do not pay duties. For example, 1, 2, 3 oil. That pays no import duty and it pays no GST. Milk only pays import GST, it doesn't pay import duty. Flour pays 76% import duty. Right? And everybody eats bread and flour tortilla. Right? So some are saying, well, let us review the list of items, goods that are heavily taxed, and maybe we can reduce that. That then is a Ministry of Finance. It's not Ministry of Agriculture now, right? It's not supplies control. But this is the conversation. So we move in the first phase right now with the supplies control
ticketing system.
Ticketing system, and then we review.
What do you do for resources for persons to go out and monitor? How many people are actually available to go out and monitor?
I will not make an excuse, but you know that we never have enough people on the ground to do this, right? And I don't want to be the excuse, but our people right now are on the ground. They were in the South in Independence, they were in all the villages doing it, they were in Cayo right now, and they have right now about 10 or 12 people that are supposed to go to court. But we don't have enough. But implementing the ticket system will make it a lot easier and a lot more effective.
But let me come back to I understand. You'll never have enough manpower to go into every store across the country. But you also spoke about doing a hotline. One of the core issues here is consumer protection mechanisms, of which we don't have a very strong. I know there's a consumer unit in Bureau of Standards or something along those lines, but consumer protection is important for people to know what should be allowed within a store. So I could call your hotline and then your regulators can go out. Is there any plan or consideration for strengthening the consumer protection that's established in the country?
Well, after we implement this ticket system, we have to evaluate how it's working, and if there's greater need for consumer protection, then it has to be considered. But this is not where it ends. This is fluid. It's not where it ends. Right? We have to constantly monitor. At the end of the day, what we want is for the consumer to be treated well, and not only in prices, in quality. Because consumer protection is not only price, it is the quality of goods, the standards. Right?
It's even transparency. I've seen stores where they take off the expiration date
exactly.
of an item.
So all those things have to be taken into consideration, right? We move one day at a time. Like I tell you, Marlene, we realize the need for it, especially now that the prices of these goods have just skyrocketed.
Where do you see, or where, I'm sure you've done some research to know, where do you see the most price gouging taking place?
Belize City.
Yeah.
We did two.
And is it like corner stores or big stores?
Well, let's take a look at that slide there.
Okay.
This was the exercise that our team did. Mr. Lennox Gladden is responsible for this. He has a very good team, and he's a hard worker. He went out and I said, I need to look at this. Can we go back to that slide?
The graph?
Yeah, the graph.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at it. These were big stores and small stores, right? So look at the blue one is a small shop.
Oh, wow.
Right? Look at the oil. At what small shop?
Wow.
It says $2.85.
So it's your corner store that will
the little mom and pop store.
Right.
We don't have much mom and pop anymore, you know.
Yeah, super.
If you look at the small shop, the cooking oil is $2.85. The big shop, supermarket, is $2.43. Look at the creamy shortening, $2.62.
What?
And $2.53. Grace sausage.
Sardines.
Right?
Yeah.
So across the board,
you can see
your
clearly
small shops prices are higher than your major supermarkets.
Yep.
This is Belize City.
Belize City.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
But you know what scares me?
And you know, you're right, because you don't see the prices. When you go to the supermarket, the price is there, but if I go to the corner shop.
And it's readily available right there at the corner shop, and you don't want to be wasting fuel having to go, you know, so.
Yeah, I just want you to understand that this is the same presentation I did to Cabinet, and I said this is what we found out.
Okay.
Right? So what we find out here is going to use to change the policy, right? We have to do things differently. Next slide, you can.
So that's one of the things. I'm glad we asked that question, because people can now be smarter shoppers as of today. It pays to put together, it saves, I should say, to put together that list and go to the big
What is even
supermarket.
scarier is the cost of inputs for agriculture. I mean, if you look at the price increase of seeds, sweet pepper, cucumber, everything has gone up. Right?
Yeah.
By the first one, 9%.
9%.
Well,
all the way down
that's a question
to 19%.
I have. And as Minister of Agriculture, I'm sure you know this problem, that very often we want to encourage, whether it's agriculture or entrepreneurship of any kind. We talk about value-added products. I know you made a big announcement about UHT milk. But the challenge for businesses in Belize is that the cost of importing material that you need to create these products, it's often heavily taxed and very expensive.
Well, that has changed, Marlene. And if you look at Plan Belize, agro-processing is a very important component of Plan Belize, especially the agriculture policy from the farm to the table. And one of the key actions there was to reduce the import duty or remove import duty on equipment and packaging used for agro-processing. As a matter of fact, that UHT plant, which the Prime Minister will inaugurate today, came in with zero import duty for all the equipment. Zero. Yesterday, the Ministry of Finance approved equipment for a soybean processing plant in Blue Creek. Again, zero import duty. Everybody who does cheese, cottage cheese or mozzarella cheese or all the fresh creams and so on, that equipment coming in, because the small people, that small cottage level people who do it, right? They pay no duty on this.
Let me come back to this for a moment. I think one of your first presentations in the House, you steered a lot of people the wrong way when you talked about limiting importation for things like UHT milk, the box milk, which everybody knows, right? Your point at that time was we need to give local producers a chance in the market. With the evolution or the development of new industries, will you move towards actually reducing the imports?
Actually, we're talking about food sovereignty. our plan Belize is very clear. We have to produce more. We have to import less, export more. And that has helped. We have implemented that. That has helped the agriculture sector tremendously. It has helped the economy tremendously. Production has increased tremendously because the policies support local production. So we have instilled confidence in the producer. Let me tell you.
So is it that it is not allowed to be, let's give an example.
Absolutely
If I
not.
went for heavy cream this weekend,
absolutely
it
not.
wasn't on the imported versions weren't on the shelf.
The objective is not to ban the importation of any goods. Mariani likes the, what do you call it, soybean milk, and she likes the almond milk. And those are specific milks. Okay? We cannot ban that. The consumer has the right to that type of product. But, of course, there's a cost for it. Right? We cannot ban the milks. I like a certain type of milk. But if I want that type of milk, I will have to pay for it. Okay? Now, the complaint was, and let me tell you, and this is what it concerned me initially, that in the past, the imported milk was not paying duty or GST, but the locally produced milk was paying GST and import duty. So it was unfair to the industry and to the producer of this country. So when we in Plan Belize identified the constraints, the challenges that were happening, then we said, no, we need to address it this way. So the plan has never been to ban the importation of milk, but you will have to pay for it. Right?
So if you
the
want...
argument was that we cannot stop the importation of milk when the local fresh milk lasts 1 day in your refrigerator, and it happens to me. I buy a Western Dairies gallon milk today, and tomorrow it already spoiled, right? Because the cold chain was disrupted, I'm certain. And secondly, maybe I bought it 13 days after manufacturing or after packaging, which only lasts 15 days on the shelf life. So I had 2 days to drink the milk. That is a thing of the past. When we met with the dairy producers, we said to them very clear, we want to promote the production, the processing of good milk. We want the milk to last on the shelf.
That's the appeal of
and
UHT.
Our government is supporting this type of investment. That is how today we are going to inaugurate a plant, first time in the history in Belize, a UHT plant for milk.
What part of the country? Where?
Western Dairies?
Spanish Lookout.
Wow.
They invested millions of dollars in it, but because government was supporting the initiative. Today, we are going to do groundbreaking for another, I think it's a $15 million soybean plant in the same area.
Spanish Lookout.
While in Blue Creek, today they have approved right now the importation of, again, another soybean plant. Why? We import millions of dollars in soybean meal and millions of dollars in oil. Now, when we start to do these things, you understand that we have to support our local production.
Primarily.
Right? And in the South, our friends in the South are investing millions in coconut production. As a matter of fact, in the North right now, they're going to have about 4,000 or 5,000 acres of coconut for oil and fresh water.
Now,
when we start to produce our coconut oil, whoever wants to bring in another type of oil have to pay for it.
But let me because we're talking here about these commodities, but what about meat? What about meats? In local production, what about imports? A year one time, I import fish.
They still do.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our stocks, that's not my area, blue economy. Our stocks have gone down and there's demand for fish. Unfortunately, we have overfished our waters. But it's not the end. We're still, I'm certain that Minister Andrew and his team are working on that too.
But let me give you
in regards to meat though,
just on the fish before we go to meat, the challenge I know with people who need to purchase fish is that they get a premium price on the islands. That's where they'll be able to get a higher price for the fish that they get rather than coming inland and getting a cost there. Is that regulated? Is it something that should be allowed for fair competition, or are fishermen allowed to set the price? What's the thought there?
I didn't understand the question, the first part of the question.
Because if I want to sell my fish, I'll sell it to the islands first because I'll get a premium price there. Therefore, local or inland restaurants don't get access.
Yeah.
They get last pick.
I mean, this is the law of supply and demand. I mean, I will sell my product where I get a better price.
Okay.
Right? And that is perfectly acceptable. That's trade. That's business. Right? Where I have a problem is when you import fish that you don't even know what it is. Right? And meat. I am very, very cautious as to the importation of meats, especially pork. We have African swine fever right now out in the region. Central America is clean, but the islands have it. Dominican Republic has African swine fever. It can move around easily if we don't take care of it. So pork is very, very important to us, the importation of pork. We don't encourage it. Beef, meat, well, you know, we have a surplus of beef. We're exporting beef to Mexico right now and to Guatemala. Has generated $50 million of foreign exchange earnings. Again, that's what has put agriculture on the spotlight, because it has generated substantial amount. And the good thing about the foreign exchange earnings from cattle is that $100 million generated from sale of beef cattle, and $100 million generated from sugar is not the same. It's not the same. The foreign exchange generated by sugar, a lot of it finds itself back out of the country in terms of fuel, in terms of agro inputs, and so on. Sugarcane is heavily dependent on fuel. The highest cost of sugarcane is transportation cost, which is fuel.
Yeah, you're right.
Cattle and the agro inputs, fertilizers and all the herbicides used. Cattle is a lot less demanding on fuel consumption. There's a lot less agro inputs, and there's a lot less transportation. So of the 100 million generated from beef cattle, you could say 80% remains in the country or more.
Okay.
So it's economically, you stand more to gain from 100 million exported from cattle than from sugar.
I know there's been a lot of work on the cattle export, and you know, the criticisms you faced in the beginning was that it was illegal trade that was taking place. Is there now a system in place to formalize the trade between Belize and Guatemala when it comes to cattle?
Absolutely, absolutely, and we're working towards that. We have never intended to be a country of contrabandistas and illegal export. As a matter of fact, former CEO Jose Puche had said you cannot build an industry from an informal market. And I certainly agree with him to a certain extent. But we cannot shut down the industry while we formalize. So my thing was, so let's keep on the informal market, but at the same time work towards expanding the formal market. And that is exactly what we have done. We began with 100 animals a week to Mexico, and now we are at 800 animals a week. It is a mega operation. It is a huge operation. Ministries involved, like ministries involved, Ministry of Immigration, Ministry of Customs, Ministry of Finance through DFC. Everybody is involved, and everybody has their hands on the table, on the deck for this.
One of the challenges with exporting meat or livestock to other countries is often the quality standards that need to be in place. And it's usually very cost prohibitive to meet all those standards. Is there a plan in place to ensure that local producers will be able, whether it's through cooperatives or loans or incentives, put in place the standards that will be necessary for proper export?
Well, we export, at this time, we export only on the hoof, live animals.
Live, okay.
And we meet all the standards that the Mexicans are asking. Animal health requirements. We have met that. Right now, we are buying animals from across the country. In the beginning, it was only Orange Rock. With our first bilateral meeting with Mexico, the Minister of Agriculture, we explained this to him that we must share. We must share the proceeds. It has to be expanded to the small farmers. And he totally agreed. Today we are doing that while we are formalizing the process.
Yeah.
Right? So we have animals that come from Spanish Coast, they come from Belize, River Valley, they come from Carmelita, Corozal. Everybody brings animals to this place where we can export now. So that's a serious, I think, advancement we made since we started to export to Mexico. We meet all the animal health requirements. But we want
But if you want to go into value added or processing.
Exactly. My thing, and I want to probably retire with that someday, to see that we have a USDA or a certified slaughtering facility.
Yeah.
And we are working towards that. As a matter of fact,
let's think of a Cancun high season and how many steaks are ordered in one night.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. I mean, and you know that the requirements, the animal health requirements to export carcass is a lot less than live animal.
Wow.
Right? You have some standards, you have to have HACCP, you have to have whatever country
the facility has to be
well, we can do it.
certified.
I'm sure we can. And we discussed this with the Taiwanese Agriculture Council, which they asked me for a presentation. I said to me, this is one challenge that I need to overcome. I need to find some kind of private public partnership in this, BLPA partnership, somebody to do this. But we have people who were here 2 days ago who have expressed interest in doing this.
I want to, quickly running out of time, and I want to get in this very important topic because it's Belize's favorite protein, right? Chicken. And the price is going up due to fuel costs. That's what the Poultry Association is saying. Now, that's one aspect, but one of the things the Poultry Association has warned consumers is be mindful of people raising prices for cooked chicken. And I think he gave such a great example of saying how many plate of food you buy where you get 1 pound of chicken, and the increase is 9 cents per pound. Let me get your feedback to this. Chicken is such an important part of the Belizean diet. The price going up at this time is not welcome news and will definitely be an additional strain on pockets.
The price of chicken is going up, which is the #1 source of meat protein. But the cheapest protein that people eat in Belize is beans. And that too is going up.
Oh, wow.
If you look at the cost of fertilizers and ocean freight, you will be right there. It's just crazy, it's just killing.
And that was before the Ukraine-Russia conflict.
It's just crazy. Urea fertilizer went up by 119%.
Oh my.
Right? I knew, and I have said it before, that you will see an increase. What we want to do is to manage the increase. You do not want that an 8 cents increase in poultry will give you a $2 increase in a plate of food.
Or even $1.
Or $1. Right? It's not that's not what is expected, right? And
but how do you control that?
Tough one. I was asked that question yesterday, and I was thinking about it last night. It is not even considered. It was not even for consideration in my ministry, supplies control. I think that's another area. But again, it has to be discussed because it is the culinary section now that's being affected.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It is.
Right? And how can we tell the person you cannot raise the price of the plate of food to $1? I don't know if there's standards. Well, I will have to review that.
But you know, it's like, you know, they're paying more for the chicken. That's understood. That they're buying by bulk, and they're paying 9 cents more per pound. But is that, I mean, you know, add on 9 cents to your plate of food.
I think at the end of the day, Marianne, it will be consumer preference. Because you walk into Princess and you pay $12 for a plate of food. You walk into another place and you pay $12 a plate of food.
Yeah, but most
right?
people going on
right.
So
the how do you? And then they will tell
you,
you, and then they may argue the point that hey, you're not paying for the food here, you're paying for the environment. You're under air conditioning.
That's what they'll say.
You have a big TV. So at the end of the day, I suspect it will have to be consumer preference. If I go to a store, to a restaurant, and they're selling me a plate of rice and beans for $15, I'll have a problem, right? So I think at the end of the day, the consumer has to.
I don't want to.
What about other items in packaging? We are moving towards a plastic-free.
Yeah.
I think the regulations kick in end of this month for the ban on plastics.
Yeah.
But a lot of the manufacturing packaging is plastics. How does that affect them?
Well, there are standards. There are standards on the percentage that is biodegradable and the time that it biodegrades in. Those are the two main criteria.
Okay.
Right? The percentage of this glass that is biodegradable
and the time it takes to degrade.
The challenge we're having is that many of the companies who manufacture do not manufacture the standards that we demand. So the accusation is that we may have put our hats a little bit too high.
Yeah.
Secondly is that not all plastics are regulated. Only a certain type of plastic is regulated.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So while we may demand high standards for this, the dollar bottled water and the shilling plastic is not in the regulation. So how was it decided what you will put in the regulation right now and what is not?
What about foam tray for chickens?
That is the regulation. That is in the regulation. There's some very... And the next thing is that biodegradables, highly biodegradables are not cheap.
Yeah, that's the thing, because that will be passed down to the consumer again.
Exactly. So while the price of chicken gone up, the price of the disposable plate gone up.
Gone up, yeah.
So it's not only the chicken that, if I'm a restaurant owner, you tell me about the chicken, I say, hey, that fork you use is biodegradable. The straw is biodegradable.
Yeah.
This AC is expensive.
Yeah.
My fancy bathroom, you're paying for all that. That goes into the chicken or the rice or the, right?
We know that time is dwindling. It's already, but I can't, especially being the agricultural minister, I can't have you leave here without asking you about the hemp industry. Because that's, definitely something that we see that it's rearing its head worldwide. We hear the mighty USA making millions, in fact, billions of dollars annually on the hemp industry. Where are we in Belize with this?
The most appropriate person for that question was my colleague Karim. He is the minister responsible for that, New Growth Industries. But let me tell you, it seems to me that from what I see and what I read, is that hemp is on the downside now, marijuana is on the upside. It seems that it has transitioned from hemp to marijuana. But Minister Musa is the minister responsible for that. He can speak more to that. I would like to speak much about it. He can give clear explanations of where he is with that.
I wanna bring it back to, I know something that people are very happy about, the return of the agricultural trade show.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the details that you have so far. I know there's a theme.
I haven't been to an agriculture show in 13 years.
Wow. My gosh.
They might ban you as Minister of Agriculture now.
Yes, the honor, yes, speaker.
Yeah. From since have been in opposition, I haven't been to an agriculture show. But I've always loved it.
Yeah.
I'm a farmer, I love farming. My son is following my footsteps. He's a farmer too, a young farmer. He loves the farm. He loves the cattle. He loves the field. And I think that's the only thing I know to do well, farming and agriculture, right? So I do look forward to this National Agriculture and Trade Show. The farmers of this country are so excited. We have sold out on the booths. We are creating more booths. We have, I think, like 80 more or 90 more booths in demand. We are inviting new partners this time, El Zamorano, Escuela Agrícola Panamericana. We're inviting Earth, the tropical schools. We are inviting our technical partners in Mexico, INIFAP, we're inviting CICI, Centro de Investigación Científica Yucatán. These people have done tons of research in pitahaya, dragon fruit, in coconuts. They have hot peppers.
Here, right?
There's so much to share with the Belizean farmer and the Belizean technicians.
Yeah.
I think everybody's excited for this National Agriculture and Trade Show. I'm looking forward to it, and I believe we're going to have a super nuts this year.
Sweet.
Look at
I
that.
remember the team.
The team is a long one. Do you have a team already?
I know that it has the Shanice will pull up the team for you right now.
Let me read this team because this is a long team.
Yeah.
But
very meaningful.
Yes. It says innovation in technology, driving a climate resilient and competitive agriculture and food sector.
All right.
Lovely. It means a lot.
Long but meaningful.
Yes.
Well,
it means a lot.
We didn't even dive into the technology being used now in agriculture, and I think that's a big
and we are
part
doing.
of it
I think we are doing so well, Marlene. We have great ideas. I think that food sovereignty is important. People have to plant their own food. Backyard garden is important. We want to start a backyard garden competition. We want to start implement. Now that schools are reopening fully, we want to have a school gardening competition. We used to have spelling bee competition. We have to have football competition. But now we want
backyard gardening.
Backyard gardening
Yes.
and a school gardening competition.
Yeah. I just want to ask very quickly as we close off. People exploring backyard gardening. The fertilizer costs, you touched on it ever so lightly. The import costs are up. Is there any way or any plan to alleviate that?
For fertilizers, our plan is to focus on developing our organic fertilizers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Composting.
Compost pile, yeah.
Composting. I use it. On my farm, I use a lot of manure.
Yeah.
I get truckloads of manure from all the cattle in
There's a joke
the
there,
north.
we can't
Cattle
say
or
that,
chicken.
though.
And even that is expensive, my friend.
Wow.
So,
Well, I think the purpose of this conversation is definitely talk about price gouging, but hearing the other developments is important. Just as we close off, as Minister of Agriculture, you understand that people, and as an area representative, you understand that people are really trying to stretch their dollar.
Yeah.
And to be unfairly cheated out of additional money at the store is unsustainable. So what do you say to consumers about the plan that you have in place and how quickly people will feel the effects?
I think the message should be more to the shop owners that you cannot be allowed to continue gouging on an already strained economy. We are recovering from COVID, and I urge the shop owners to do the right things. But to the consumer, shop with your eyes. Nothing is wrong with taking out your phone in the shop and calculate something, Nothing is wrong with that. Calculate, right? And you have to shop. I shop. I don't buy anything for buying. I have to shop. Everybody has to do it.
Buy your shop.
Your shop.
That's my guy.
All right.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you
The
too.
Honorable Jose Avelar Mai. It was a great conversation.
Thank
and
you.
we know that you need to rush off to the western part of the country,
Yes.
inaugurations and bigger things.
Yeah, we have right
Box
now.
milk.
We will deliver this morning to the FAO our presentation. There is the 37th LARC conference right now happening in Ecuador. We didn't make it physically, but we are doing it virtually.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
so it's Belize's turn to present this morning at 9 o'clock. So
All right.
All right,
ready for
thank
that.
you, and we wish you best of luck.
you
We're about
very
to
much.
take a break, though, but when we come back, we'll be discussing parking meters in Belize City. My goodness. We've got reps from the traffic department in when we come back. Stay with us.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Tech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Todo beliceño merece tener una conexión de internet de calidad, rápida y confiable en su hogar. Para clases en línea y trabajo desde casa, es la nueva forma de vida. Diginet es el proveedor número 1 de servicio de fibra óptica, impulsando la transición digital de Belice. Y ahora nuestro servicio de Diginet es aún más accesible con nuestro nuevo plan de entrada. Por tiempo limitado, tú y tu familia pueden disfrutar de 20 megabits por segundo por solamente $49 mensuales. No más clases perdidas ni reuniones virtuales interrumpidas. Te está costando mucho tiempo y dinero. Diginet es mejor que cualquier opción de cable o servicio inalámbrico. Visita cualquier Digistore hoy y suscríbete para la conexión más rápida y confiable de Internet para el hogar en Belice. Ven a ver lo que te has estado perdiendo. El mismo servicio de fibra de alta calidad, rápido y confiable, ahora a un precio aún más bajo. Para más información, visita www.livedigi.com/Diginet. Digi, nuestra telecomunicación nacional.
Together we can stop the violence by being responsible and respectful partners and fathers in the future.
I will take responsibility to respect women and girls and hold other young men accountable who use hurtful behavior and speech.
Toxic masculinity traits and harmful social norms about how men should behave contributes to gender inequality and violence and fear that women and girls face.
I realize that gender-based violence is a problem that will never end until all boys and men work to end it by resolving conflicts without violence.
We all have a responsibility, and that is why we encourage others to spread this message, to commit to advancing gender equality and to end gender-based violence.
I commit.
I commit.
I commit.
I commit.
I commit
to make changes to end
violence
violence
in my life and elsewhere.
Together we can stop the violence.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're moving into our second segment now. This one is all about the parking meters that are being implemented in Belize City. You'll be seeing them shortly. As a matter of fact, we've got the pros in to tell us all about it. Members from the traffic department. Albert Vaughn is in with us. He's a counselor responsible for traffic. That's my guy. Yes. Jermaine Hyde is in with us, court manager at Citco. And on the big screen is Kevon Jenkins, Traffic Enforcement Manager at Sitco as well. Guys, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
inviting us.
Oh, definitely.
And sharing our traffic meter.
Yeah. But brothers, I mean, you know, it's all about propelling ourselves forward. And I think, especially with respect to what downtown Belize City is like, so let's start there. What is it like out there so people could understand the importance of traffic meters in that area?
That's very important because as our citizens would know that it is highly impossible to park on Albert Street doing business in that business district now. And so I think moving that way with the traffic meter is one of the ways that we can better control, right? We'll get better equity in parking. I mean, to say you could now pull up to Brody's, pay yearly, you know, and go and do business, come back. And so that's what it's all about, no? It's moving the city in the smart direction. That's what we are taking the city.
This is a big step for people. And we know that not everybody is always as open or welcoming to change.
Definitely.
Especially if that change comes at a cost to their pockets.
Definitely.
Right? So let's talk about the consultation process, including the merchants on Albert Street and in the park. Those are the two areas being piloted, and what the feedback has been like.
The mayor, we held our consultation. We have met with the bank, the businesses, the taxis, and surprisingly they were receptive to what we were doing, because in the case of a taxi, we have not displaced them. We have found a place right in the vicinity where they can continue making their money. The bank, you know, they have their parking lot, and so they use their facility. And so, yes, that process did happen, Malene, and it went excellent.
So the store owners downtown are saying, yes, we're fine with parking meters. Where did you put the taxi, after all?
We put the taxi right at the approach of Church Street. It was about 6 taxis, and they fit right there. And no problem. There is no problem with them.
Oh, okay. The approach of Church Street, you said?
Yeah.
And that's an area that's very trafficable as well, because...
well, you know the 30 feet, they get the 30 feet, and then after... Actually, it was a reserve, so it's no problem. It was reserved for a business there who no longer exists there, and so we put them over there.
What about the naysayers? What are we hearing when it comes to, next thing we get charged from? What do people say?
Well, like what you were hinting to earlier, John, when you look at the current situation, you have... or I should say the previous situation where you had these taxis out there and you had reserve parking for some of the store owners.
Yeah.
Right? So you had persons having to drive around Albert Street, going on to Regent Street and circle back around to try to locate a space to park.
Yeah.
Now, with the relocation of the taxis and the removal of these privately owned or privately leased spaces, we now open that area for, like the council said, an equitable use of the space.
Yeah.
You look at the cost of a gallon of fuel right now, the money you're going to spend driving around Albert Street, Regent Street to locate a parking space is far less than what you're going to pay $1.50 for a half an hour, $3 for an hour.
Yeah.
It's more equitable for the consumers out there.
If you allowed me, because I want, Malene, when we talk about the taxis, we are not talking about that. The one in front of Battlefield Park.
That's what I was wondering.
No, we are talking.
Where they are right now.
No, we are talking about the taxi that is in front of Brody's.
Yeah.
That remain as is.
Okay.
That remain as is. For now, no, that remain as is. Yeah.
Yeah, because those places are prime parking.
Yes,
we know that.
Yes.
So is it? Let's get into the details of it, right? The pilot project, we're told it had to be delayed because you did have to, in fact, publish that you were starting the project. What's the official start date?
The official start date is April 4th, right? And I must take some time to give thanks to our colleagues at the Ministry of Transport. They have been a part of the discussion, and they were actually a part of the gazetting of this, of the parking, the area that we are planning to put these meters. So I want to thank those persons at the Department of Transport. But they're on board. We have the support of Cabinet, and we move forward April 4th.
So the next question I saw answered in that image there, who walks around with change anymore? I'm used to parking meters with change.
There we go.
What are you thinking if you think I'll have a pocket
There will
full?
be no change. There will be no change. It's a smart system,
It's a
so
smart
it's a card.
system.
So where do I get this card from?
So at the implementation of or at the launch of these, the use of the parking meters, what we'll have are parking maids out there with the cards. Okay. In addition to that, at every city council location where there's a cashier, anybody will be able to go in and make purchases of these cards and top up their cards as they need to.
So it's like your Metro card.
Yes, it will function very similar to a Metro card. And in addition to that, we have certain stores that are close to these areas that also will be service providers in terms of selling.
To top up your card.
So apart from the city council offices, we'll have parking maids out there who'll be selling as well. And eventually we'll have some of the stores in these immediate locations that will carry the cards as well.
Let's talk about the size of your gun. Kevin, you could, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, the locations for these meters will be on Albert Street, from Orange Street to Dean Street, and also at BT Park, Newton Park area, from Princess exit gate for Princess to Midtown Restaurant. The time will be from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Thursday, and from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Sundays and holiday will be free.
Okay. But you know that area is the strip, Kevin, whereby, because I hear 7 p.m., but 7 p.m. things just the kick up on, Newton Barracks area. So how are you going to work along with that?
Well, anything after 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. or
7 p.m.
Will be free.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's a cream spot, cream time?
Yeah, so just to try facilitate everyone.
The idea is not to really jump at the consumers and really tax them for this.
Okay.
We want to, like we said, equitable sharing of the spaces, right? And that's what we're looking at, making sure that everybody has access
and what
I mean, in the Princess Margaret area especially, that area is clogged up with people who work in that space.
Area.
So if I want to take my family to the park, I can't get a spot.
Yeah.
And I would be willing to pay because I want the children to be safe. So that's one of the thinking. But I have a question, and I don't want to sound too cynical, but we do know it happens. Destruction of property. How durable are these things going to be, and what preventative mechanisms do you have in place? Because we've seen sometimes great ideas fall apart because some person decides they'd prefer to deface.
Well, it's a two-part question we're looking at.
Yes.
In terms of enforcement, we have our traffic officers who will be out there, right? So in the event that there's any damage to any of these meters during the day, the officers and the parking maids will be out there to get this. If there's substantial damage to any of the meters, then of course we would have to take some action, whether it be through their insurance or through court to recover the cost of these, because it's a substantial investment, and we want to make sure that the investment we make in the city in trying to get the city to be a smart city, that it's respected and
also I spoke to the mayor just last week, and we were looking at putting cameras. So we hope that could help us to catch these people that will go there. Yes, because you are right. You have these minds.
And it's not everybody. It's just one, two who will do it.
And hence the reason we had the consultation, because then if you get everybody to buy into it and take ownership of this project, then they'll be more respectful and appreciative of it.
It is actually for them, so they need to take care of it.
It's for them at the end of the day.
The project is being funded by the pilot project?
It's a partnership between the council and two private entities, Park Solutions and Better Park Solutions. And they have been quite accommodating with getting the equipment here and being a part of the process as well.
And it's being called a pilot. What's the plan? How long? What are you measuring to see in terms of results?
We're looking at a 1-year pilot project. And based on the data we receive from this, we will know how to expand.
And
so it's a 1-year project.
And then well, let's talk about vehicle sizes, because you know you've got people with Kevin, you could jump in.
Yeah, Kevin have to help with our vehicle.
You got people. We got
yes.
They want to pay 2 meters. So how do you work this?
Or if you can't park in one space, you know, some people have that problem.
Well, the sizes of the parking is 8 feet by 20 feet, so it's very
spacious.
It's spacious, yes.
Yeah.
And it's 2 different meters. So what will happen is that the detail park meters you go by license plate, and the Albert Street one you go by numbers. So at the detail park one, you need to enter your license plate number, and it will give you a ticket. And with that ticket, you need to place it on the dashboard of your vehicle, so that the traffic officers that are in the area working that location can see the time you enter and what time it will expire.
So they'll be doing rounds. What do you do if somebody doesn't pay?
Well, it's the normal way. You violate it, you get a ticket, right? You get a ticket.
You issue a ticket.
A $25 ticket. No?
Lots of trust there that I'm going to put in my license plate. I might just put John so he can pay it.
You know, but the slip that Mr. Jenkins speak about has that information. So if when the officer or the mate goes to that vehicle and the license plate on the slip is not matching that on the vehicle, then of course you realize that something went wrong.
And the Albert Street one is more, I think it's more friendlier because it's a meter for every 4 space. So it's space 1, 2, 3, 4. So although your dashboard does not show the meter show. So when you get space 1 and it's turned red, that officer out there know that you have expired the time because the meter itself show red, right? Yeah. So that is more, you know. So
nice. Have you been testing it out so far?
Yes.
How's it been going?
Been going. We've done some testing at the office, looking at how the meter works. We do have training for our staff as well.
Yeah, user friendliness. Yeah, some people might need, so you said there's a traffic meter, so if somebody needs help trying to figure it out.
Yes, we have out there to help if they have difficulty with that. But it's very user friendly. Like I said, it's cashless. The monitor is there and it guides you as you're using the
and again, where are you going to get these cards? Because Kevin mentioned very importantly how you're supposed to use it. Again, let's go over how you get the card, how you pay for the card, or how you put money on that card, or your credit on that card, and where you get it. Yes.
So like I said, we would have the maids out there who'd be able to assist. But at every Belize City Council location where there's a cashier, you'd be able to purchase the cards and as well to add credit to the card as well. Okay. Eventually, we're going to look at some of the stores that are nearby these areas for them to sell the cards and credit as well. But for right now, it's the Belize City Council offices as well as the maids who will be out there.
You have these people out there with the card itself. So when you drive up, you will recognize them because they will be in a uniform that identify that they sell the card to you. And so you purchase a card from them, and that's where the process starts.
Okay.
So it's quite easy.
So Kevin, you mentioned the Princess Margaret Drive area. Is that going to be on both sides? Their meters, because I know sometimes that backs up a bit because it's too congested.
Princess exit gate, from Princess exit gate to Thursday will be only in front of the park on the right hand side.
Okay.
From Thursday to Midtown it will be on both sides.
Okay. Okay.
So that will stop the double parking that happens, or should stop. What's the tickets that we're looking at? Standard cost for infractions?
For infractions, yes. The offense would be failure to comply with the traffic sign, and so when we look at the regulation, that is a $25 fine.
Okay.
But of course, if the fine is left unpaid and it goes to the court, we're looking at a steeper fine.
Yeah, penalties will accrue as well.
Yeah.
So what do you? I mean, we've been talking about the parking meters for a while, and the mayor has announced a while back. I know he was here. He explained it in detail what the hope is. Have you gotten any negative feedback, things, concerns that people may have that you want to take into consideration at this point?
Yeah.
Residents maybe who live in some of these areas may be thinking, where do I have to pay for my own parking?
We did get some complaints, like people who had preferential parking. I think the preferential cost you like $100 a month compared to a meter put there. But I think their concern was met when they met with us. The taxi had a lot of concern because they will figure out the taxi in front of Brody's. Where are they going to make their money? And it's a genuine concern. And so we had to get on the ground and find somewhere for them. The Heritage Bank, as a matter of fact, they had a problem because, you know, they move money.
Yeah.
And so coming to the bank with their money, they need space. And so we have worked out that in front of their bank, they would have that drop-off and pick-up point, not a parking point. And we have offered them beside the taxi, over the other side.
Over the other side,
they have preferential parking for their, you know. And so yes, there were concerned on the Newton Barrack side. Yes, the residents in the park have major concern because that's where their business is. But after speaking to us, we have proved to them that this will help them. Because like what you were saying, if you want to go and buy something from the park, you will now have that parking space to go and do business.
You're not going to stop and buy.
And so yes, there were that concern, and of course you will have people who just don't want to. But I think we have met many of their concerns, and they are now working with us. So.
But for the most part, like Yvonne mentioned, there's a time within when you're able to use the meter or not. Because the biggest part of the business actually happens in nighttime, where we run down to.
I think Brody's will be happy. You know how much time I want just go park front of Brody's to go shopping and come back. And I don't mind to buy a ticket and for a few, you know.
Is it competitive? Because there is one parking lot in that area. Is it competitive in pricing?
Well,
the meter versus the lot.
Well, competition is good for the city,
right?
I have seen on Channel 5 big commercial for one parking lot down in Downtown Plaza, and that is good. That is good. And that is excellent because you're providing and so and then you have the niche parking lot that the council controls, and we will upgrade that as a matter of fact.
Okay.
So
So what's the cost at the niche parking lot?
The hourly rate at the niche parking lot, I believe, is $2 per hour.
Oh, okay. So it's cheaper if you walk on, a little bit more. All right.
It's only $2, man.
So what's the plan? Is it beyond the pilot project, when you're able to do your assessment, is it kind of just getting into those congested areas only, or are you just looking at these two locations moving forward?
Well, as I said, this is a pilot, so we want to see how this, and of course, I believe I'm very optimistic about it. I believe that it is a good thing for the city, moving the city in a smart way. And when this project is up and it shows that it is viable, then we expand, we go on the canal side, we go on the bus terminals, right? Because it's crazy out there.
Over there.
Those people who are using the city estate know. And then the complaints of taxi park everywhere. So we could address those things with the parking meter.
Because the market area, that's one of the things people don't want to, you have to go all the way over that side, parking,
Yes.
So that would be definitely one of the areas to venture off to. So again, how much for the hour or half hour in this parking?
$1.50 for half an hour and $3 for the hour.
Okay. All right.
And no cash required.
No cash
required.
What is also important is that it's not a meter per vehicle. Like for BTL Park, it's only going to have 4 meters out there. So it's not a meter for a vehicle. So you have to walk up to the meter and put in your plate number and put in your hours for the distance.
Okay. All right. So you have to pay if you use that particular spot there.
Expand on that, Jervin. So
let's get some expansion on this.
What we're looking at, and it's been done in more in the larger cities around the world, where instead of having a parking meter for each slot, we have now the digital meters that monitor a space. A larger space. So it will monitor the parking in a large area. So you can have possibly 4 spaces assigned to 1 meter. So you go to that meter and you take a spot, you walk over to the meter, you indicate on the machine which one of the spaces you're using, you enter your plate number and you get that slip. You put that on your dashboard and you're covered.
Okay.
Right? So it won't be a situation where each slot that is there will have a meter there.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Let me break this down for you. Not because you don't see the parking meter in front of the spot.
Exactly.
No means you don't have to pay.
You don't have to pay for
You have to walk to the meter and go get your slip and put it back on your dashboard.
You know, as part of the traffic law is that you have to have signs. We will be placing signs there. This is a parking meter zone.
Okay.
So I can't come back and say there was no meter in front of this spot.
Yes.
And these are the areas where we'll find the heavy traffic personnel there.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. So we get it.
We are revamping the whole system to make this work. So we will have people out there throughout that period. We call them. There will be people selling the ticket, the warden. And we'll have people who is monitoring as well, people who park there.
So we have maids and the traffic wardens who will be out there.
It will work.
All right.
Yeah,
All
right.
Well, it sounds like, this pilot project is going to kick off when? April 4th?
April 4th.
Okay. And it's going to last for a year?
For a year.
For 1 year.
Okay, just to check stats, make sure everything
we look at the feasibility of the project, and then from there we begin to look at other areas where we see parking as prime, and we want to make it equitable for the residents as well.
All right. Enough said, guys. Now we know exactly what to expect. Albert Vaughn, Jermaine Hyde, Kevon Jenkins, thank you guys so very much for joining us this morning to explain to us traffic parking meters. Have a great day, guys. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so we're going to take the break. When we come back, it's all about fast track. Now, we're not talking about track and field. We're talking about business here, business acceleration program for women entrepreneurs seeking to access capital and new markets. That's when we come back. Stay with us.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "Therefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith." In 1952, Florence Chadwick was the first woman to swim the English Channel both ways. While training for this, she once sought to swim from Catalina Island in California back to the shore. Encouraged by friends and family, she stepped into those chilly waters off the Pacific Ocean to attempt to swim back. The weather was foggy and chilly, and she could hardly see the boats accompanying her. Still, she swam steadily for 15 hours. She then begged to be taken out of the water, but her mother in a boat alongside told her that she was close and she could make it. Finally, physically and emotionally exhausted, Florence stopped swimming and was pulled out of the water and taken into one of the boats. On the boat, she stood and to her amazement discovered she was less than a half a mile away. At a news conference the next day, she said, "All I could see was the fog. I think if I could have seen the shore, I would have made it." If the fogs of life have engulfed you and you feel you can make it no longer, then let me challenge you to keep your eyes on Jesus and keep looking for the shoreline of the country and the home He has prepared for you. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Introducing MabeBelize.com. Your best solution in home appliances is now one click away. With countrywide delivery, it's easier now than ever to go Mabe. www.mabebelize.com. Enjoy life easier with countrywide delivery.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Deja mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
And welcome back. Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're moving now into our third and final segment for the morning. Now, this one is all about a fast track. This is actually about a business acceleration program for women entrepreneurs seeking to access capital and new markets. In to talk to us about it, Monique Usher, who is the manager of SBDC Belize, unit of Beltrade. Yes. And of course, we've got Sarita Bejarano, who is the manager of Belize Training and Employment Center. Ladies, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
I normally start off by talking about colors and complimenting it. You looking lovely. Love them. Love them.
Thank you. Thank
but
you.
Let's jump on into this. Now, when we hear fast track, you know, a lot of people actually wonder to themselves, what are we talking about here? And then, of course, we're actually here in uplifting women and uplifting themselves in business. Let's get there.
Sure.
Let's start with you, Monique.
Fast Track is an accelerator program that's focused on scaling up women that are in business. So what the program looks at doing is doing an assessment of where the women is in business and providing support to get them to the other level. So basically identifying what are some of those gaps in that business and providing them with the support to overcome those challenges facing that business. This specific program is unique. I say that because it's something that's being hosted in Central America and the Dominican Republic. So Belize is partnering with our sister regions to provide this program that looks at providing access to new markets and also funding opportunities for women in business.
It does say that Fast Track will help SMEs led by women to grow. Yes. How is that going to help?
Yes, the program has 3 key phases. The first being the recruitment phase. So we're currently in the recruitment phase, and that comes to a closure on the 10th of April. So at this point in time, what we're doing is attracting women who are in business, who have an operation that has 2 or more women. It has a specific focus on rural, migrants, Afro descendants, and also looking at indigenous women. So we're trying to cater to these specific target groups and having them be a part of this program. So the recruitment phase, and you have the fast track phase, which, you know, fast track, you know, it's going to be almost like a boot camp that basically accelerates them during a short period of time. But I'd like to make mention that, you know, the program itself has a monitoring and evaluation component that looks at reviewing the progress these businesses make over the next 5 years.
You know, I love that because I'm thinking of a new business owner or even just a small business owner who's saying, I don't know if I can dedicate time to be able to enroll in a program, and Fast Track kind of gets you there with the fundamentals.
Yes.
In a shorter amount of time.
Yes.
But let's talk about that. I mean, there's been an explosion of small businesses. How small are we talking? Yeah. Who's the best candidate for this program?
Perfect question, Marlene. We're looking at women-led businesses that have 2 or more employees. So if you have 2 employees within your business, we're catering to your operation. It's not specific to a industry.
Okay.
We're looking at, you know, women from various cross sectors of the industry. Yeah. And the idea is to have you a part of not only, you know, Belize's entrepreneurial ecosystem, but connecting you with other women in Central America and the Dominican Republic. The network itself has 24,000 founders, so it's a program that has been in existence for quite some time, and you know, it's ideal time.
And that in alone is an opportunity, because one of those people would have been where you were.
Yes.
Well, where you are right now. But let's just clarify size of company. What if it's with my family? What if it's me and my husband and, you know, a child? Is that still considered a woman-led business? I mean, some people are really just that startup, 3 or 4 people.
Yes, women-led, when we speak women-led, we're talking about the women having majority shares in that business.
All right. Now, what is, you think, the greatest benefit of a small business who's trying to establish themselves in enrolling in this program?
For this specific program, like I shared, it has the component that allows you to build your capacity. So a part of it also looks at having a diagnostic tool done on your specific operation, and that tells you what your needs are, what are some of the challenges that your business face, and it provides the support to address those needs and challenges in real time. You also have the opportunity to network. I know when I spoke about the 24,000 founders, John's face lit up because it does show, you know, the vast support that's in there. And the networking opportunity for you to connect with other women who might be in a similar field like you, but operating in a different territory, and you get to learn about their experiences in business, and you are able to mitigate some of the challenges that you know might be on the forefront for you.
That's the reason why my face lit up, because if you are able to network with over 24,000 people, then what is to say you're not going to catch on? Which leads me to bring Sarita into the conversation and talk about the training that will be happening and whatnot, because there will be a workshop. Let's get there and what to expect.
Yes. There is another program giving highlight on what we're talking about women-led business. Another initiative that Beltrade is hosting is a design thinking workshop for digital transformation. So this workshop aims at highlighting different innovative IT solutions for businesses, and it involves coming to contact with 20 MSMEs who will be able to undergo a design thinking approach. And after this design thinking approach, they will be able to develop a prototype for, again, digital solution for their business. So we're looking at solutions such as e-commerce, for example, online payment systems. We're looking at softwares they could integrate into their business. So it's looking at digital solutions that can transform their business from just a mom and pop company to having that digital integration. This program is also executed across the Caribbean. So Belize is partaking in this program in particular. So we are very content to have this program on board.
How tech savvy do I have to be? Because I might want digital transformation, but I'm like, man, I just figured out WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Marlene. When we're talking about digital solutions, it can be from simply integrating a laptop to your business as a digital solution. There are many small businesses that don't even have their operations online. They're not doing their invoices online. They're not doing payroll online. They're not doing sales online. So we're looking at starting from the very basic and of course helping them upscale their business to that digital aspect that it takes.
A buy-in is always the best thing because people must understand what they're going into before they get into it. Yeah. You made mention about 2 or 3 times about design thinking. I could remember the first time hearing design thinking, I thought, man, I don't know if I think about no design, but it's not necessarily that. So let's break that down a little for folks who would like to be or who are interested in this.
Yes, and I think that's very important, sensitizing the possible participants or those participants we're catering for to understand what is design thinking. Design thinking is a methodology or a process by which businesses, especially or organizations, undergo to, first of all, connect with their customers to be able to identify barriers, bottlenecks that are happening when they are consuming their product or services. So I think that's very important, and it goes through a 5-stage approach in looking at doing research with the customers, defining the problems, coming up with alternative solutions, developing a prototype, and then being able to test that prototype to be able to then be feasible for the business. So it's a 5-step approach I will be looking at, and we'll be walking through the entrepreneurs throughout this process. So I think it's important to highlight that in this workshop, they will also be benefit from, of course, professional development for themselves. Capacity will be developed there. And of course, networking opportunities.
So is this workshop also only for women-led businesses, or this one is open?
This one is open.
Okay.
We're looking at an open call for MSMEs, again, who are interested in integrating that digital solution to their businesses. There is no limitation. You can be a female or a male to be able to apply for this particular workshop.
Any size criteria?
Well, in particular, we're looking at those small businesses that have more than 1 employee, 1 to more than 1 employee.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it could be something, for example, my husband and I are operating a business. So even if it's maybe not in that formal aspect, that's still an employee for him. You know, so we're looking at that aspect of integration.
I also want us to touch on the Regional Investment Connect, or RIC 2022. And
wow, how many things are you going to pull out of your hat today?
Yes, so that's the 3rd phase to the program, and the 3rd phase focuses on financing and investment opportunities for entrepreneurs. And the Regional Invest Connect 2022 is an event that connects entrepreneurs with investment opportunities. So that's an additional part to the Business Accelerator program, the Women-Led Business Accelerator program. So you go through the recruitment process. I like to point out that it's only 24 companies regionally that will be participating in this program, in the Fast Track program. After the Fast Track program, you have an opportunity to apply for this 3rd phase to the program. And of course, you'll be receiving technical assistance and support to take you to the next stage to access potential financing that are available through various vehicles when it comes to financing in the instruments.
Is this going to be the Shark Tank competition like?
Similar approach to Shark Tank, pitching your business to a panel of investors. And of course, during that phase, the support is there to get you to the next level.
And a lot of these small businesses definitely are clamoring to get funds. So you did mention that there will be an opportunity for them to get some, you know, what would be the amount?
The amount.
What can I get? Yes.
I know that was a question that you would have posed. Again, a particular focus on the program is ensuring that it's customized to the needs. So an assessment is done to see, you know, what exactly is needed for that enterprise, and then, you know, determination is made.
So maybe I think I need $100,000, but maybe I'm not ready for it yet based on what the assessment shows.
Yes, and remember, you know, this is an investment opportunity. So this is not only looking at locally what our ecosystem has to offer, but it's a regional approach, and we have partners like Impact Hub Nicaragua. We have Sempromipe, which is our regional agency that supports various MSME development initiatives in Central America.
And of the 24 spaces that are available, are there specific spots for Belize, or is it going to be based on who meets the criteria across the region?
It's a very competitive competition and environment. So
it's not specific to say, but ideally we would want to have 3 Belizean companies a part of the program, considering that it's 8 other countries that are a part of this initiative.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of times people think if it's going to be that competitive and I'm a small business, I don't stand a chance. What's the self-assessment tool you would tell business owners or women-led businesses at this point that they should take to decide if the fast track program or if they're fit for the fast track program?
I think for us, one of our selling point as a country when it comes to our entrepreneurs, we might not be producing at the volume, but we have very unique niche products. And I think that's something that the market, you know, is yearning to see, products that have meaning behind them. And like we mentioned, it's women-led. You're looking at businesses that employ or include women from migrants, Afro-descendants, indigenous people, and, you know, so it's an opportunity for you to explore. Yeah. The support is there from Beltrade, and of course, you know, we want to be able to celebrate women in businesses in Belize that are a part of this regional program. Primarily.
So going back to the criteria, more than 2 years in operation, they must have some sort of business plan, right?
Not necessarily a business plan, just a business model or a business concept, something that has been proven. I mean, if you're 2 years in existence, it does show that you're a viable business. And I know earlier you had mentioned that, you know, a lot of small businesses boom during COVID-19. And if you look at it, 2 years experience, it could be a business that started out at the onset of COVID.
Yeah, and we've spoken to a lot of people during that particular time.
It's been I mean, really a silver lining of the entire pandemic experience. People who lost jobs and just, you know, found their passion in something else.
Yeah, and you know, you did mention 8 countries. You'd like to get at least 3 participants from Belize.
Yes.
But what is my application time? Or what is their application time?
Sure. The deadline for the application is the 10th of April. It's an online application. If you visit Beltrade's Facebook page or website, the link is available there. And what we've been doing is we've been doing some email marketing, sending out to our existing clients to have them enroll in the program. The selection process takes place the 11th to the 13th of April. So even though it's fast track for us to review the applications too. And then
so you do the first selection?
The selection is done collectively by Impact Hub Nicaragua, collectively with Beltrade involved in that process, and the other countries that are key players in terms of their support organization. The final notice goes out to the selected participants on the 13th of April, and the first meeting is going to be hosted on the 19th of April, and then we'll provide you with the time frame for the program.
All right. And let's talk deadlines for your design thinking workshop.
Yes. Important, as Monique mentioned, to visit our Beltrade page. We're posting opportunities constantly on our Facebook page. The applications actually open today. So it's something that we want to promote this morning and to encourage all those potential small businesses to visit our page. And there is a 1-week application period. Thereafter, we'll be doing an onboarding session on the 6th of April where we'll be presenting the tools we'll be using in the session and an introduction to the design thinking workshop. And thereafter, they will be assigned to do a pre-work, which is a study of engaging with your customers and identifying, again, bottlenecks, challenges while accessing the product or service. And of course, the actual workshop starts on the 11th and 12th of April.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, so 2 deadlines that are quickly approaching.
Yes.
I want to just step back for a moment. You know, BTech, Beltrade, you've been working with small businesses for quite a while. You know, are you seeing more and more that these businesses are coming for the additional support? You offer a suite of services for small businesses. Do you still see that demand?
Yes, we still see the demand, and what we've also taken is an approach of recruiting, because we do see a lot of booming businesses and we do specific targeting for them, but through our training and advisory service, we do see the need by the market to access these services. And it's a very rewarding experience working with a small business, seeing them just having that idea transform to an actual business. So it's a gratifying process. We love supporting our MSMEs, and it's something that we take great pride in doing.
And quite a few that you've helped go to another level over the years. Nice. Do you ever just see a small business pop up and you can see their potential? You wish they'd come and do some of the programs?
When we do see those, prominent or promising businesses, we do approach them and we share with them what we do, and we see, where they're at, because again, at the end of the day, it's taking their vision and providing support to that vision. So it's not just imposing what we do to these MSMEs, but understanding what their needs are and seeing how best we could support them.
And for the small business owner, whether woman-led, considering the fast track, or design thinking, who say, I just don't have the time. I'm, trying to get through taxes while fulfilling orders, while, updating Facebook. What do you say to them about making this investment in time?
I think it's an investment that is something that could benefit their business in the long term. And I think that's very important for anyone who's looking to invest time in their development. So I would encourage them to apply for either or opportunities that we're presenting today. And of course, a lot of time management is definitely important in terms of getting time to actually work on their orders and also be able to do these sessions online. For example, the digital transformation workshop is actually only 2 hours for 2 days. So it's not a lengthy process. We're trying to break it down, again, bearing in mind that entrepreneurs, business owners are very busy. And they are practically the ones responsible of operations in their business. So it's very important to consider these factors. So again, both programs consider time and of course the different deadlines that they have to be able to abide by.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what.
Where do people get the application forms?
You did say online, I think.
So you can call, for the fast track as well?
Yes.
That's on the Beltrade or BTEC?
It's on the Beltrade Facebook page and the Beltrade website. Information is available there. For those of you who are listening at home and might be interested in giving us a call, you can reach us at 822-3737 or 223-3195. For BTEC, their contact number is 223-0303. 0303.
You actually remember for the number. That's cool. But information well shared, and this is a great opportunity again for women. A very, very strong hold within our country, and we need to continue to propel each other to be at the top. Thank you guys so very much, Monique Usher, Sarita Bejarano. Thank you for joining us this morning to share with us.
Thank you, Marlene. And
all right. So we're going to take our final break of the morning, and when we come back, we'll be wrapping things up. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's almost lunchtime and Alice is getting hungry and forgot to bring cash. She remembers that eCash now has a geolocation feature in which she can easily view the eCash merchants near her, especially restaurants. Her co-workers also ask her to order food for them.
Chicken chow mein, please, and a Coke.
The merchant sends her the payment link. She taps confirm, and within a few minutes, her food is delivered. Alice then views her transaction history and taps on the transaction recently made. Then taps the split the bill button where she selects the unevenly option and moves the bar to the desired amount per person. The request is then sent to her friends. Her colleagues accept the request and are ready to enjoy their meals. Geolocation and splitting the bill via eCash make Alice's life a whole lot easier.
Applying for a Social Security sickness benefit? Here's what you need to know. A complete claims package includes 1. Sickness claim form fully completed by the claimant and medical doctor. 2. Salaries record form completed by the employer or HR representative. 3. Proof of bank account such as bank book, online banking, or statement displaying your name and account number. To submit via email, you need to Take a clear photo or scan of the documents and email to claims@socialsecurity.org.bz. Be sure to include your full name, social security number, and benefit type in the subject line of the email. Or you can drop off all completed forms into the Dropbox slot at the nearest branch office. Deadline to submit is 14 days from your first day of illness. All forms are available on the website at www.socialsecurity.org.bz. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
Just like that, though, we have come to the end of our show for today. It was a great morning indeed. We're totally out of time, totally out of time. And as per usual, because of you, this is possible. You actually wake up, you open your eyes and start your morning right with us. With that said, if you've got any questions, any concerns, drop us a line at oye@channel5belize.com.
And you can also find us on Facebook.
You try to catch me.
Right? On Facebook.
Yeah, you can catch us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ. Yeah, on Facebook. And you can check us on Instagram at OYE Belize. Oh, you know what? You could actually join us tomorrow morning again when you open your eyes.
Just start your morning right. Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
We'll see you soon.
Enjoy your day, Belize.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank.